So Google does this study, and what do they find? They find that 90% of web searches don't go past the first page of Google. What does that mean? That means if you have a business or if you have a website and you're not on the first page of Google, and when I say the first page of Google, let's say you're a plumber, someone would search plumber near me. If you don't show up on the first page of Google, that means you're missing out on 90% of the web traffic that you could be getting. So what's this first page of Google stuff? Well, I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but when you need to find a service or a business, let's say a roofer, you pick up your phone and you type in You type in roofer near me, right? And then you look on Google and you call and contact the roofers. And I'm guilty. I never go past page 1, and I'm sure you don't either. So if you're not on page 1, your business, I should say, is not on page 1, you're missing 90% of the clients that could be finding you. So how do you get on page 1? That's a good question. So a lot of people would probably think, oh, maybe you have to pay to get on page 1 of Google, or intuition would tell you that if you are the best company, you're probably going to be on page 1 because you're going to get all the reviews and all that good stuff. But that doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but it's not the main criteria that gets you on page 1. What gets you on page 1 is something called SEO, search engine optimization. I'm not going to bore you with what all that means, but basically search engine optimization is the art of getting websites on page 1, and it's all done through, guess what? Your website. So if you think your website is simply a place to organize and present data, whatever, for your customers and clients to find you and see, you have missed the mark big time. So let me just do a little bit of a rant. So if I was trying to find a website or have a website built, and the web designer came up to me and he said, look, you got 2 options. I'm going to build you a website that's a turd. It's going to be horrible. I hate to say it, but it's going to be on page 1 of Google, okay? Or I'm going to build you this like fancy, beautiful website. When you see it, you're just going to say, ooh, and you're going to think it's amazing. And it's going to have all these features and contact buttons and things that pop up and fly around, and yeah, it's going to look great. But I don't know where it's going to show up on Google. I would, without fail, every time take the turd that is going to be on page 1 of Google. You know, there's an old saying. I think the saying is bad press is better than no press, or bad press is good press, or I'm not sure, whatever. So am I trying to say that the quality of your website doesn't matter? No, that's certainly not the case. With a website, it's really important, and I could go on for days and days talking about all the important things about a website, but basically it is your first and usually your only impression for your customers and clients, so it should definitely count. But I can't stress enough, no matter how good or bad it is, if they never come to your website, if you have no traffic, it's a poor return on investment, you know. And a lot of people price shop websites, and a lot of people ask me, why are your websites so expensive? This is exactly why. Because you can find companies that are going to build you a website for $500, and it's going to look nice, and it'll be a WordPress website, but they're not going to do any work on the back end. And this is... So if you're having a website built, or you're having someone refresh your website, and they're telling you about the features it's going to have and how pretty it'll look, just run away. If they're going to tell you, like, look, I'm going to get you on page 1 of Google, that's when you start listening and you start talking to the person. And I will say that search engine optimization doesn't only affect your website, affects your Google My Business listing, your Apple Maps listing, even your Facebook page. I mean, I did Windmill Acres website, and their Facebook and their website is outranking every single local venue, and I had them doing that, in like 2 or 3 months, and they booked out their first season. They were kind of blown away because they just like booked out their first season, and I think they're booking into 2023 right now. So I can't stress enough the importance of how your website is made, not even how it looks, more so how it's made, so people can actually see it and find you, okay? Don't be hidden online, because it does you no good, okay?